In the heart of a prosperous kingdom, there lived a prince named Darius, known for his arrogance and reckless ways. His father, the wise King Alden, often worried about his son's inability to understand the value of hard work and wisdom. One day, the king summoned an old humble farmer named Elias to the palace. Elias was known for his deep wisdom and kindness, despite his simple life. "Teach my son the meaning of life," the king pleaded, "for he does not listen to me." Prince Darius scoffed. "What can a mere farmer teach a royal like me?" Elias only smiled and said, "Your Highness, wisdom is found where one least expects it." The next morning, the prince was sent to Elias's farm. Darius, accustomed to luxury, sneered at the dusty fields and the farmers toiling in the sun. Elias handed him a wooden bucket. "Let's start by fetching water." Darius laughed. "I have servants for that." Elias simply nodded. "But today, Your Highness, you must learn to serve yourself." Unwilling but bound by his father's command, Darius lifted the bucket and carried it to the well. It was heavier than he had imagined, and soon, sweat dripped from his brow. After fetching water, Elias took Darius to the field. He handed him a handful of seeds. "Plant these," Elias instructed. Darius frowned. "Why should I put these in the dirt? What a waste." Elias chuckled. "Patience, young prince. In time, these seeds will grow into crops that feed the kingdom." Darius tossed the seeds carelessly. "I don't see the point. Why wait when we can buy food from the market?" Elias merely smiled. "Not all things can be bought, Your Highness. Some must be earned." Days passed, and Darius struggled with the work. His hands, once soft, became blistered. His muscles ached, and for the first time in his life, he felt exhaustion. He threw down a hoe in frustration. "This is beneath me. Why must I suffer like this?" Elias calmly replied, "Because true strength is not in power, but in endurance. A kingdom is not built by orders alone, it is built by the hands of those who work." Darius fell silent. That evening, Elias invited Darius to a meal. Unlike the lavish feasts at the palace, the food was simple: freshly baked bread, fruits, and vegetables from the farm. Darius took a bite and widened his eyes. "This is delicious." Elias chuckled. "Because it is made with labor and love. Food tastes best when you have worked for it." For the first time, Darius felt gratitude for something so simple. One evening, dark clouds gathered, and a violent storm swept through the fields. The farmers ran to secure their crops, while Darius hesitated, unsure of what to do. "Quick, help them," Elias called. Darius, caught in the moment, rushed to aid the farmers. Together, they secured the fields before running for shelter. As the rain poured heavily, Darius realized something. These farmers, whom he once looked down upon, were the backbone of the kingdom. The next morning, a wealthy merchant approached Elias. "Sell me your land," he demanded, offering a chest of gold. Elias shook his head. "Gold cannot replace the value of honest labor." Darius watched in surprise. "You could live in luxury. Why refuse?" Elias smiled. "A rich man may own gold, but a wise man owns peace. My wealth is in the seeds I plant and the hands I use to work." Darius, for the first time, understood true wealth. Days turned to weeks, and Darius changed. He no longer saw farm work as punishment but as a lesson. One evening, he stood beside Elias, watching the golden fields sway in the wind. "I never understood before," Darius admitted. "A king is only as strong as his people, and a kingdom is only rich if its land is well cared for." Elias smiled. "Wisdom, young prince, is not in knowing all things, but in understanding their value." Darius bowed his head. "Thank you, Elias. I was blind, but now I see." When Darius returned to the palace, his father saw the change in him. He no longer demanded riches or feasts. Instead, he spoke of the farmers, the land, and the value of hard work. King Alden embraced his son. "You have finally learned what makes a ruler great, not power but wisdom." Darius nodded. "And wisdom is found in the humblest of places." Years passed, and when Darius became king, he ruled with fairness and humility. He ensured that farmers were respected, labor was honored, and wisdom was cherished. Elias, now an old man, watched with pride. "A fool ignores wisdom, but a wise man seeks it in all things." And thus, the kingdom flourished, not through gold but through understanding. Moral of the story: true wisdom does not come from power or wealth, but from understanding the value of hard work, patience, and humility. Call to action. If you love this story, like and share. Don't forget to subscribe.